Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I'm your king and your messiah, David Moore. What's up, y'all? All right, so we have our lovely ephod. I guess this is called an Elon because when you're a Kabbalist, you use this long scroll called an Elon, and you do everything by hand, and it just shows your experience in the Torah and everything else that you study, your connection with God. So this is mine. And instead of it being a scroll, I was like, you know what? Let's make it into something like a tablet, a seal, right? Like something easier, something Jesus would use, right? What would Jesus do? Because obviously that's what I would do because I am Jesus. Duh. All right. Anyways, so let's go into this God complex real quick. Let's see. Right now, I was just watching some videos about the Messiah. No, the Third Temple. And what they believe in Jerusalem right now. And it's not everybody that believes it, like, oh, yeah, the third temple is going to be built. It's more like, okay, if you are in the know, you are in the know that the third temple needs to be built. And we have to do whatever it takes to get it done. And even we do, as Christians or Catholics or whatever you want to be, one world religion, it needs to be done. These kind of things need to be fulfilled. Like, you can't leave them in the back burner and not have them be completed or done. Like, there's a purpose for it. So, you might hear people like, I guess John Tucker is like, oh, they're building a third temple. Like, yeah, like, and then this other guy's like, oh, yeah, what a dope. What is he, like, he's spreading the message. Just like, duh, like, that's the point. But that's good. We need everybody to talk about those kind of things, right? Even if it's silly. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be built. It needs to be done. So in my shoes, right, since if I'm the Messiah, right? And they build the third temple, but they're not worshiping me in it. They're worshiping somebody else or nothing, or just this imaginary God. It's a win-win situation, right? Because when you're playing a game, you usually want the other person to put all their chips. So, like, yeah, go ahead, build the third temple. Go ahead, do this, do that. And do you know that I'm the Messiah? Oh, you don't? So then everything you're doing is like kind of, there's no intent, no purpose, no ritual purpose to it. So it's like, go ahead, use it. Go ahead, do it. And they build it, they do good. They win the war. They do everything they need to do, right? And then they're like, they have two choices. They're like, one, we can either choose King David, which is me, or we can choose, whatever we want to believe in, or the way that they want to do things instead of my way. So I'm like, okay, if they choose me, good things happen. But if they choose their own thing, you're gonna get this effect where it's like they build themselves up so high only to break themselves down at the end. So you're basically using their own energy to destroy them. So let them build up really, really high, let them build up really strong. Epstein did it, all the other people did it. They built themselves so high and then they fall down and break so hard, right? So yeah, you want them to do good. You want them to go really high up there. You want them to build that Tower of Babel. You want them to go. So that way it's easier to just Jenga them, and then all the bricks fall down and they fall with it. And you just take out everyone. You win more, you win more chips that way. So yeah, it's a gamble, but at the same time, it's like, what can you lose? What do you got to lose, right? Double or nothing. That's what I always say. Go all in or for nothing. And give everybody what they want. Give the winners what they want, like, let them win. Let them win, because at the end of the day, a lot of people win because they're angry and hateful and they want to hurt people. And they want to be on top so they can feel good, right? So let them win, let them have everything. But at the end of the day, like, the light reveals the truth and goodness prevails, right? So let them go all the way out. Let them do their thing. Let them show them their true colors, their true selves. All right, let's go on this little calendar real thing. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Oh, that's 24 spaces. Okay, let's try this one. So that lets you know this is a clock, right? So 1 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, or in the morning as well, and then 12 o'clock in the evening, 6 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, right? 6 p.m. And then the sun sets, yada yada. But then here you also kind of have that too. Let's see how many are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't know if I counted that right. But yeah. All right. But let's look at this outer ring real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So there's 32 spaces, right? So that makes a lot of sense. In a calendar, how many days do you have? 31. So usually what you do is you'll have this one, which is going to be Pisces because we're in March. And I think today's the 6th, right? So, or the 5th. I don't know. I think it's the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is where the day would land, right? And then once it reaches 31 over here, this is the 32. So this lets you know that there's not a 32 day, but this is the month, right? All right, so let's go right here real quick. So if this is Pisces, its ruling king would be Belial, and Belial is known as the liar, right? So that's not a bad thing for it to be called the liar, because usually it's the truth, and because it's a king, it's represented by the sun, so it's the truth. I think a lot of stories about, like, you see these stories when it comes to, like, Judaism or Christianity. They're like, one person is a liar, right? The Jews are a liar or the Christians are a liar. Jesus was the Messiah or he wasn't. Like, there's this gray area where they war over, like, was Jesus God? Is he God? A lot of people say, a lot of Jews are like, no, Jesus is not God. The Messiah is not God. He is God, and yes, he is like a man, right? Because I'm God, but I'm like a man. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, right? That makes so much sense, and it's so much easier once you see it that way. All right, so yeah, once you go, like, from here. So we have March and Pisces. Pisces is usually seen as, like, that giant whale from Jonah, but also as, like, a dragon. In a lot of stories, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you summon a dragon, they usually summon them in the water field because they just are stronger in the water field, which makes sense because that's kind of like alligators, they're dragons, right? Anyways, you have this fish right here, so he would be, who is 68 and 67? So, Amdukias, I think Belial is 68, right? 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. Okay, so 72, 71, 69, 68. So, 69 is the Karabia, and he teaches you, like, the language of the birds. 68, I don't really remember who it was. But, oh wait, I think that's Belial, right? 68, 69, 70, 71. No, so it would be 72, 71, 70, 69. So who's 70? I can't remember who 70 is. So 69 is the Karabia, 70 is Seer. So Seer's job, sorry, let me open up my throat. Yeah, he roars like a lion or a dragon, right? All right, so what is it? 72, 71, 70, and 69. So 69 is the Karabia, and he is a Marquise. So you get this moon energy, which is water, right? So you got that Pisces. And then you have 70, which is Seer, and Seer is a prince, and that would be water as well, but it's in the case of Saturn. And his job is to go out and get whatever you want, how you want it, when you need it, right? So he's basically a flying Pegasus. And if you ever wanted to go somewhere or do something, you would want to work with Seer. And that's why it's called, like, a Seer when you see the visions or the future. Because you can go and take what you want, astral project yourself, get what you want, get what you need. And then in reality, it'll happen. It might take a while. There might be reasons why you can't have it. There might be people that try to stop you from getting what you want, etc., etc. And then you have 71 and 72. 71 is, he's a guy with the book in his hand, and he has a multitude of faces. So basically, you can know anybody. what's his name? I think it starts with a D as well. Because this is Andromalius. This is... He's a duke. I always know his name, but I can't remember it right now. But he has a book. He has a multitude of faces. They switch up. Basically, you could see anybody's thoughts or know what they're thinking. You can know what's inside their head. A lot of the time, people will say, no, you can't do that. But he has that ability to tap. Dantalion. He can tap into your mind. He can know what you're thinking, what you're seeing. So let's say you're like, I want all this stuff, you know? Sorry, noogie. So you want all this stuff, right? And you're like, Seer, we need to go get this stuff. And Dekarbi is like, well, we can use that bird energy, which is flight, right? Like this spiritual flight. It shows you a similitude of birds, even if they're not there, and like the rushing of waters or something like that. So basically, like, you can do things in the astral realm with this. And at nighttime, this would probably be like 11 o'clock at night, because this would be 12 o'clock at night. And this could also be, what time of the day would this be? If the sun is moving this way, I guess this would be 1 p.m. or something, right? Anyways, yeah, so you're like, okay, little birdies, let's go figure things out. And your little birds go out. There's a thing called a martel or marlet or something like that. And it's a bird that can fly, but it can never touch the ground or it will die. But it can live forever if it keeps flying. And it's like an ancient hero. So like if you see Soul Eater, they have a thing called Excalibur, and he has little feet and he's walking around. But he's one of those birds. So it's kind of interesting that he doesn't die because he's Excalibur, right? Anyways, so yeah, you're working with the Saturnian energy, this water energy, so it's both the moon and the Jupiter, but it's also in the area of Saturn, so that's why I guess it's silver. I'm turning this one silver, but, you know, keeping the Pisces with the Saturn. And it's in the realm of the earth, and there's a lot of lies, so basically you're seeing all these lies, and you have to figure out the truth on your own in a way, and, like, just trust your instincts and your good sense. I had a dream about, they said, what's your greatest power? And I said, my beauty. And everybody was, like, kind of confused by it. They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, to me, beauty is doing good on the inside and doing good on the outside. So you tell yourself beautiful things, nice things to yourself, like things that are encouraging and good for you on the inside, and you pray good for other people. And on the outside, you pray good for other people, and you do good for other people, and you accept help from other people. You accept goodness from other people. And it takes a lot of work and trust to be able to do those things. But that's what beauty is. It's very powerful, right? And that would probably be in the domain of Venus. So anyways, we have a Marquise, Dekarabia. Then we have Seer, which is a prince. And then you have, which is kind of cool because you can see that it connects to this prince energy right here. And then you have Dantalion and Andromalius. So Dantalion is a duke, so maybe that's why you get this air energy so close to him. And then you have, because it's going east from west to east, and then you have, and in a true sense, that if the sun is here at this time, the sun in reality would be somewhere around here, because the sun rotates around this, the north and south pole, so the sun's rotating around this, and then when it's behind the pole, it's like midnight, so we don't get no light, right? Anyways, and it's going from west to east regardless. So he would be Dantalion. He has this book. He can see and know everything. It's like big brain, super psychic energy. And that's super cool to use on, like, your enemies. You could tap into what's their plans and what they're doing. A lot of the time they'll resist it and try to keep it secret. Unless you're one of them, they'll just reveal it all. But if you're, like, opposed to them, they're not going to really want to give you the information. So you're going to have to destroy them with magic and then get the answers. And then as the day passes, the energy that you send that way will come back towards you. Like that karma energy. But it'll be like... They're called Alatories. So Alatories are these mercurial energy. Alatories are these spirits. Like if you've ever watched Earwig, they show these little baby demons. and they go and do whatever the master wants. Those are allotories. They just go and do your bidding. So if you ever want to know something that you're doing with magic and war, you can always send the allotory to bring you good news from there. And like messages too. So like, let's say you destroy your enemy, like they start revealing themselves to you, because they're like, your magic doesn't hurt me, you can't affect me. And then they start bragging, and then they just let you know everything, and you're like, okay, so my magic is working and destroying you, you just don't realize it yet. But that's okay, because we want you to keep, showing your true colors, because the more you show, the more we can paint, right? Paint a picture. And then so here we go. So Dantalion, and then Amdukias, Amdukias is the unicorn. Andromalius, number 72. So this is the final spirit. Well, there's Halahel, which is the whole book, right? So it's partly good, partly evil. But right here is the final 72nd spirit. 73 would be Halahel, the whole book. But 72 is Andromalius. And Andromalius in Pokemon would be like Aerodactyl. And it's this guy that has a serpent, and his job is to go retrieve a thief. And if you ever watch Pokemon, he kind of does that. And a lot of the times, there's a lot of story about like Aerodactyl. So like Ash will go and he'll like find the Amber Stone, and then he'll find like the Helix fossil and another fossil. And he has to take it back from these thieves, right? And he punishes Team Rocket, and he makes it to Cinnabar Island and revives them, the fossils. So they use that mythology, they just put it in their own way, So that's what you can do too with, well, that's what I do with, what's his name again? Andromalius. And a lot of the time they'll be like, well, sometimes somebody else will be using the spirits, and you have to break the chains and pull them towards you. And I love to use the spirits chain, because I'm like, who's summoning my spirits? And then I go get them back, But also it's good too, because they can go anywhere. It doesn't matter how holy you are, like whatever, they can get there. It doesn't matter what prayers you have, they can appear and they can watch and they can do what they need to do and influence the situation. Because at the end of the day, they make sure that you do what you have to do to get the job done. So what's his name again? Andromalius. I always think of my dad when I think of him. My dad used to like draw me pictures of snakes and stuff, and I would keep them, and I would really treasure them. And he looks like him. Like he has like this beard, and like he's very Jewish but Asian at the same time, and very strong and red skin. So it always reminded me of him. And he's an Earl. So he's a Duke, he's an Earl. So Venus and Mars. And you can also see that in the opposite side of it. Yeah, but his job is to go retrieve a thief, right? So, but in like a cosmology effect, we could think, well, the sun is hidden behind this pillar, right? At midnight, because it's like the sun is rotating around, or rotating this way. But what we see is the sun going up and going down, but in reality, it's going in this rotation. Yeah, so it's hidden behind this pillar, and basically his job is to go pull him back out to the light. So they used to use this idea of like how the world works, and then they use they translate that into a magical formula, right? So you're like, well, the sun is invisible when it's at midnight, right? Because you can't see it. So that's why like at 1 a.m. you have Baal over here, and he can turn you invisible because there's no sunlight. So you can basically travel in the darkness, or you can just metaphysically do that. Spiritually. Maybe you can't, but I can. It's really simple. And the thing is, when you're working with these spirits, their job is to punish you if you're not part of my team. So if you're not part of my team and admit that like I'm the Messiah or King David, they're gonna punish you. But they're gonna use you too. They love to take advantage of people, and that's their job. So you can't be mad at them. You should just be mad at me, right? So anyways, yeah, we have Andromalius, and he's super cool, but let's look at this also in a calendar aspect. So if this is March, and then this is the 1st of March, it lets you know that this is like a month of revelations, because chapter 72 is somebody, but 73 is Revelation. So it lets you know that it's very close to this revelation. because 73 is obviously Revelations in the book of, all the books. There's 73 books. um so whatever's before 73 is 72, and then 73 is that final like accumulation of everything, right? And I guess that would be kind of like not Twilight, because Twilight is right here, I think, and right here when the sun is rising and the sun is setting at that point, but anyways, you have this Earl going through this Revelations mode. So a lot of people are like, well, it's the end of the world, it's Armageddon, it's apocalypse, all blah blah blah, and that's good, and we want Jerusalem to attack and destroy Iran. We want these things to happen because if they happen, then we can have more opportunities in the future. Sorry, like, it's true. Like, then the Jews can build their third temple, then they can start practicing and they can start showing what they're all about. And it's good, let them have their redemption, because if they have their redemption, then they have a chance, right, to be like, who's God, to proclaim who God is. And then the Christians do as well. So you have this dynamic. It needs to be done so we can all see the truth. Like, are they going to choose me as their Messiah, or are they going to choose something completely different? And if they choose something completely different, that lets me know, okay, they're not on my team. And you have to see that. You have to see the truth. Like, let's say you're dating this guy and you're just like, I don't think he's cheating on me. I don't think he's cheating on me. But you know he is cheating on you. And you're like, I need to prove it. I need to see it for myself. And then you go and you find out, and you see the proof, the evidence for yourself. You choose like, hey, do I want to leave him, or do I want to stay here in this relationship? Is it worth it? So I want to know, is it worth it to allow the Jews into my kingdom? Is it worth it to allow the Christians into my kingdom? Already I say no. But if they're willing to prove themselves, then I'll say yes. But if they prove themselves and then they turn around and do something completely different, like contrary to my beliefs, like they don't choose me, they choose themselves, I'll be like, oh, so they pick this imaginary God that doesn't exist when I'm here. So it's like, how do I put this? I'm trying to figure out, like, I wish I was such a good talker, like, Tucker Carlson, John Tucker, Tucker Carlson, like, and all these other YouTubers. They talk really, really good and very intelligently, and they do all their work, and they do all their scripts and stuff. But I usually like to free flow everything and give myself a chance to figure it out and take my breaks. But I can't make these videos too long, right? So, yeah, let's see. If we're in March and this energy is going towards this Revelations mode, that's why you can see all this war. Obviously, Aries is a war sign. Saturn is a death sign. Venus is beauty, so there's this victory in war that's going to happen. So for them to attack on those days, it lets you know that they're going to just keep winning. The Israelites are going to keep winning. I think what I'm trying to say is, like, okay, they build their third temple, they win the war, they show their true colors, then they have a choice, do you believe in this imaginary God that doesn't exist, or do you believe in your King David, your Messiah? Like, which one do you choose? Because they're going to pick their version of it, right? And they're not going to pick me. And I think that's important to know, because, and I like to brace myself too for rejection, right? Because if I know that I'm going to be rejected, then I can be more prepared and think about the things that I'm going to think about in that situation. So I have to think double. So I have to think not only like, okay, if they choose me, that's a good thing. I don't have a lot to think about. I don't have to worry about anything. But if they don't choose me, then I'm going to have to double down on the energies. So basically, like, let's say they win the war, they build the temple, and they don't choose me and they choose themselves, right? They're like, well, we'll just worship this God that's what I was going to say. Okay, so they're afraid, right? So if you're afraid of being like, okay, I choose King David, me, right? I choose him. He's my Jesus. He's my Messiah. He's the one that's going to win. But that's really hard to say, right? Because it's like, well, everybody's going to think I'm lying. Everybody's going to think I'm a freak. Everybody's going to think I'm a weirdo. It goes into that cringe territory. And that's very, very important in like current trending, because if you see people, they're like, don't say sheesh, and like, so a lot of people will say it, and then some people will be like, that's so cringe. But it's like, it's fun. So like, YOLO, like, you only live once. Like, come on, like, they get mad when like older people start using all those terms, right? So it lets you know how they think. Like, oh, the people that are resistant against that, they're probably people that wouldn't want me as their god, right? Because I guess in a way it's a little bit like marketing, and you're trying to predict the markets. So I guess that's why I'm a snake sign. Like, I predict things like that. And I like to do those kind of things, occultism and banking, because it lets me know like where to invest myself, my energy, because energy is precious. But yeah, so today I'm gonna go like to the harbor and like go on a boat, and we're gonna go see the ocean. But let's see. Yeah, so the thing about people being cringed out, like imagine if I was like, the other day I was like, yeah, I got a Kabbalah, like a Kabbalah, a Quran, and I was kind of nervous to say it because I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm crazy because I want to read the Quran. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. What they think or what they say. And I was like, yeah, I got a Quran. Somebody gave it to me for free, and I think it's a really beautiful book. And I'm grateful that God could speak to me through it. And I didn't care if they thought that was a bad thing or a good thing. I just said it and did it. But in our age now, that's why there's a lot of good things about people that are trans or gay, because they're like, well, I'm gay. I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'd rather live in the truth than a lie. But we still have that lie still. But then we also have this opposition, like this MAGA, like Make America Great Again, which is good for me because, like I said, let them reveal their true colors. Like, don't hold them back. Let them push them forward so they can reveal themselves. And let it be true, because if they have the chance to be good people, they're going to do it. But if they have the chance to be bad people, at least we can see it and it's not hidden, right? I do like that Kristi Noem chick because she went out and she did her thing, and I hope that the next person that they put in, this UFC fighter, this UFC fighter guy, I want to see him go even harder than her, like just really wreck up the politics and just destroy everything that people work so hard for in that sense, because I can't have all my money going towards everyone else, right? It has to go towards me. So I can't invest in like foreign nations anymore. I can't invest in immigration anymore. I have to invest in myself because it's my turn now. I invested a lot into them and I didn't get nothing in return. So I have to invest in myself and dominate the field and destroy everything else. So I invest into war, I invest into politics, I invest into destruction, anything that involves destruction. But also, like, if I see that somebody's doing things in my will, then I invest in them as well, and I start locking things down. So like, let's say Pokemon, I'm gonna lock that down. Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm gonna lock that down. Anything that has to do with like entertainment, I'm gonna lock it down so that people can't use it anymore, because they'll take the funds from it. But I'm gonna lock all those things down that make people happy, and make sure that there's tons and tons of destruction so it accelerates much, much faster, and I can get what I want faster, right? So I guess that's, in a sense, it's chaos magic, but also judgment magic, right? Because you're controlling the flow, and that's what I want to do. So yeah, this is the little tabernacle. This is the map. This is my Elon. Yes, we got the Hebrew letters here, Aleph. So you're breathing in these words. You're expelling this energy. You're feeling this compassion, and then you're solidifying your results. That's how the alphabet in Hebrew works. Yeah, so we got this really cool, we're going places, we're doing things, we're making magic happen. Yeah, last night in my dream when I was writing the things like I am beautiful kind of thing, my power is beauty, and there was like a unicorn, so I thought that was really beautiful, and everybody was really happy in the dream, and things were happening, really good things were happening. So there's a bright future ahead. Just keep praying, just keep trying, don't give up. I don't know, like, I wish I could give words of encouragement to you. But I think you'll figure that out on your own, like how to say good things, and I'll try my best to help you learn how to be good people, because why not, right? All right, yeah, so that's it. Have a great day. Bye.